Consider supporting Sonicguru Productions on Patreon for just $1 a month. Link below in the description.
All right, I'll read it. Okay. Well, it's two in one, really, basically, this whole thing. So there's been a new interview with Iizuka talking about traditionally about Sonic 30th anniversary, blah blah blah, and typical questions. You know, how he started off working on Sonic 3, what was it like changing from 2D to 3D. The reason why there's been so many characters put in is because, well, to give you something fun to play with. I mean, that's kind of the point. But there's a few things in here that's worth pointing out. One is he does talk a bit about the Chow Garden. Particularly, he points out, originally it was made for knights as part of something called A Life, which was to use little creatures, Knightopians as a thing. And then he, of course, he said, "Oh, I'll turn that and put it into another game," which became the Chow thing. And seeing if you know anything about this guy I'm talking to, you know damn well what he thinks about the Chows. So there's an interesting, he does mention about, like, I would be interested to see more of this. Particularly, he says, particularly with the game, he said it's still loved by so many people after 20 years. I'm thrilled that there's been so many requests for still a sequel.
I can't find my Chow.
Oh my god. Oh,
Where's
Lord.
my Chow gone?
Oh Lord, of all the times.
Oh, well, the times actually, I gotta show off my little Chow plush I have. I can't show it off. But,
Yeah.
I love the Chow. For many people, the Chow Garden is the one thing we really, really want, and especially after so many years where people really wanted it. I was there in the audience. You were there as a witness. There were 300, 500 people there, especially a few hundred people watching on live stream. Do you want another Chow Garden? Yes. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean that's probably the most answer you're going to get out of him when talking about, are you doing this or not? We'll see.
At least it's vague compared to Peter Molyneux.
He promises you the world and then he gives you Ipswich on a miserable summer's day evening, raining.
The most involving tennis game with realistic graphics and feels like you're actually there. Peter, this is Pong. Yeah, got the AI system. I don't see the last. I also think not see the last of Classic Sonic either. I'd rather not see Classic Sonic for a while. I mean, we had Mania. We had Mania. Fine, that was a good fan project, turned official, and it worked because it wasn't. Even though it had to tie into forces, and we had Generations, where it's a celebration. We've got two different aspects. The 3DS version is lesser than the console version because they give Classic Sonic a home attack after freaking Mushroom Hill. That was like, why? Can you not? You have no. It shows you have no confidence in Classic Sonic gameplay in a modern style.
Well, it depends how you make it, really.
And forces and Classic Sonic just does not work in that game. So unless would rather have it, if it really Classic Sonic again, it has to be a solo project like Mania. I don't want a crossover with modern again because it just takes.
Yeah, he did say. I think there's. I mean, I read it, and of course, I'm hoping that's what he's implying, at least, that there'd be two separate things. I mean, I've always said, ideally there should be 3 series. There should be classic, modern, and boom. But we all know that's now no longer in the thing. So yeah,
that's a surprise to say. Yeah, we're going to make a new full-on 3D title. And it's like we're going to bring this back and actually just round it off, but no, we're stuck on a cliffhanger.
Well, we say cliffhanger, but that's a whole other thing. But that's a whole other story. We'll probably talk about that one day when we finish our Boomcast. Who remembers that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I do a lot of projects and I end up not finishing them whatsoever, and I move on to something else. I need to stop doing that.
Yeah. It's all about time, folks. But anyway, yeah, so he says that. I mean, more or less, it's basically, he doesn't give any hints of what the next big thing is. I mean, obviously, there's some small, like I said, the Chow thing is a small intonation that maybe maybe that's a clue to the eventual remake. We don't know. I am starting to feel.
Well, the way he says it's host and meets fans' desires, not expectations, or host to please the fans. It's desires.
Yeah,
that's a strong word. There's like a lot of people. There's like there were so many things for desires. And it comes down to two basic things. Either one, you are actually going to make a Sonic Adventure 3. It may not be the same Sonic Adventure as we know. Like, it may not have the adventure feels, it may not have a truly realized story. Adventure 2 story has problems. It's a good story, but has problems.
Yeah.
And even though Unleashed is still Adventure 3, in my opinion, especially if it's a Japanese title, the fact that it is an adventure.
Yeah, I mean, that was the irony. They were going to make that Adventure 3. They kind of thought, well, we'll make this Adventure 3, and halfway through, they just thought, well, A, this is going to be something different, and B, if we call it that, they're still going to hate us for it, so let's not poke the bush of hornets.
So, or, more likely scenario, it would be an Adventure remake to test the waters whether or not they should make an Adventure 3. So the Adventure remake, like, just, like we said, up the graphics, alter the story, new voice casts, remixed music and all that, some gameplay tweaks, and then remake Adventure 2 and fully realize that, especially including other connections to Shadow the Hedgehog and so on. And people will probably expect a Heroes remake, and then they can make Adventure 3.
You can put that in. I mean, it's like they're not going to. Let's put this way: if they go on this remake bandwagon, if they remake Adventure 1 and 2, I mean, ideally, I think the only other game they could do afterwards would probably be Heroes. That's the other game I would like them to see redo.
Yeah, but I'm seeing it as more if they do Adventure 1, then do Adventure 2, they'll make an Adventure 3 and seeing how well they sell. What game came out and it was expected, like, if this sells well, we'll make the sequel?
Well, actually, it was Oddworld. I remember when they redid New and Tasty, which was basically
Oddworld, yeah.
Yeah, because
I was thinking of more recently Resident Evil.
Yeah, well, there's a good example. They said they made the first remake of Resi 1, and then years later, there was always the sort of hint, maybe Resi 2, maybe not. And then I think was it 2017 they announced it, and then for a long time,
way back, early 2010s, they actually announced they were going to remake Resident Evil 2, but it took until after Resident Evil 7 with its new Resident Evil engine to fully realize it.
Basically, yeah. I mean, again, we know that Sonic Team have the Hedgehog engine, which they upgraded or redone.
And have used in the new game Sakura Wars. They've actually utilized the engine. So that engine can work. Even though it's more of a graphical engine and anything else, it can still work.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more the case of, if it's going to look good, we know it can look good, because if there's one thing Sonic Team can do, are good-looking games, regardless of the quality of the thing itself.
A few minor hiccups here and there, but a good-looking, good sounding game.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. But like I said, there's a bit of me that's a little bit anxious because, again, there's still no official news if this is happening or not. I mean, put it this way, we're doing this roundabout, there's a PS5 talk going on, so whether there's going to be some surprise announcement from that, we don't know. Whether there's going to be something later on in the year for them to really showcase off what Sega are doing, I don't know. I mean, my best case scenario is we get a teaser announcement for the game. They do what Final Fantasy VII did, which is basically they show us a bunch of shots of some nice looking places, quick passes, and then say adventure, relive the adventure as a tagline or something, and in development, and then we get more and more teasers from that. My idea is they announce or tease it this year, and then we get more info probably towards the end of this year, and then the beginning of next, and then who knows, maybe it'll come out then.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because like I said,
it's just the word desires gets me.
Yeah. I think it's one thing we learned is, well, put it this way. I mean, Forces basically happened because there was a lot of people out there who just love making their own Sonic character, which is basically use any type of animal in that art style and then just go hell crazy with it. So if he saw that and thought, we can do something with that, and maybe, whether that was the good decision or not, again, you can say that on the game itself, but that's clearly made out of the fact that there's a lot of folks out there who like that stuff, so why not cater to them along with the general audience? And I wouldn't be surprised if they try and do something like this again. So,
yeah, the only downside with that is, like I said before, I think I've said a few times, is pleasing the different groups of fans. Because you get the hardcore ones who've been around for as long as the song's been alive.
Us too.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan until '93 though. That's when the cartoon came out.
Yeah, but let's be 'fair. We were around. We were born the era where Sonic was basically created, and we picked up during, I guess, semi-heyday, you can call it whatever you want to call the the glory days of Sonic.
It was after Sonic 2.
Right.
So, and then you have the intermediate fans who may have played the game here and there, who still like Sonic, but it's just like I haven't played the Sonic game since Adventure 1, or Generations was the other one I picked up because it was interesting. And then you have the new fans, which only have played Mania Forces or even just Lost World onwards. So it's getting that dichotomy. It's like you want to piss off the hardcore, you want to grab new audiences, and you want to get those who actually do, who only occasionally play Sonic games, who actually want to play it.
I mean, again, it's funny because it's obvious that Yukasawa is basically the mouthpiece between us, Sega, and the rest of the world, if we're being honest. You know, he tends to come out and say if this is a thing or not. And for the most time,
he's the Miyamoto of Sega.
Yeah, basically. I mean, he's the head of
Sonic.
That's
too much higher of a praise, but that's the only one I can think of.
Well, he's the head of the Sonic team. Basically, they look at him as, well, you're in charge of Sonic in terms of whatever media there is, whether it be games, television, comics, or, now feature films, apparently. So, he has to look into this stuff.
Well, we can only wait and see. I've got to wait one more year. We'll get an announcement November, don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, we will get an announcement. I mean, what it does, trust us, when it happens, if it happens this year, you can expect us to talk the crap out of it. So that's something to look forward to.